Now this is the basic, before we get started, my trap was on a drag. And even after catching a raccoon, if I would have staked an animal down right here or cabled him off to this bush, all this would be destroyed. And I'd have to remake everything. Not a big deal on this type of set, but it's one of those things, if you use equipment that'll help speed you up like a drag, like a saber-tooth drag is, you can catch an animal, dispatch the animal, come remake your set, and be going really, really quick. If this would have been caught on a stake, that would have been a great big burn circle. This would have been scattered everywhere, it would have been chewed. Could I put it back? Yes, I could, but it would just take more effort. If it would have been muddy, then I'd have a big muddy mess right here. If it was muddy and I was using a drag, this would still be dry. I could just go back into my original trap bed, which is sitting right here. Didn't have to do anything except put the trap back. Now a rub set, I think a lot of guys get confused on what it is. It's more of a flat set. I'm not sure. I think the rubbing part gets a little overrated as far as them rubbing back and forth. Will they rub on it? Yes, some cats will, just like some cats are turned on by catnip. Some cats are not. But I do think with a set like this, you can get them over the trap regardless if they're just smelling the lure or they want to rub on the set. But it's called a projection set because I've got this piece of wood projecting out, or a rub set, whatever you want to call it. I've got my projection. Now for a bobcat here, which an average bobcat here is going to be about 20 pounds, well, really far south. If I was somewhere like up in Utah or Montana, I would probably have this projection up a little bit higher because your animals are going to be bigger the farther north you get from the equator. But down here, this is a perfect height for gray fox, coons, and for bobcats. So what I've did is I've taken this, I've set it on a piece of wood, I've taken another piece of wood and just added weight, so if the cat does start rubbing, it's not just going to fall over. You want to have some structure to it. These are bobcat droppings. They're kind of hard to see. Once the coon fired the trap off, I'm going to sit those right there. Now these I put cat urine on. Notice I've got a feather here for eye peel. It's just kind of, when I get him to the flag, which I'll show you here in a second, I just want to get him in this general area. Again, I'm thinking about cats, gray fox, and coon where I'm trapping at. And I'm going to tuck this other feather up under here just for a little more eye peel next to these droppings. So when a cat especially, he's going to see the flag, or a gray fox or a coon, all of them are attracted to the flags. He's going to get real close to the proximity. He's going to see this sticking out. He's going to see the droppings. He's going to see the couple of flags eye peeled. If you're in a state where you can't use feathers, use faux fur, wool, cotton, stuff like that, no big deal. But right here, dead center line of this trap is right here. And you'll see my trap is offset just a little bit. I'm wanting the end of my pan see, here's straight down. I want the end of my pan to be 4 or 5 inches out, and I don't want it dead center. I want it on one side or the other. Which side really doesn't matter. But if you think about how a cat is going to rub, he's not going to have his feet directly under here. If you've ever watched a house cat rub on something, like when I'm making lure at home, they start rubbing all over me and other stuff in the house. Their feet are not straight down. They lean into it a little bit. So the trap needs to be offset one side or the other. Now if the cat's over here and his feet are back here while he's rubbing, no big deal. His head and body's facing that way. When he gets done, he's going to walk right over the trap and get caught. So, but I don't really want it in front as much, because if he does come on this side, he's going to be standing right on that pan when he puts his face, where he's going to be rubbing that right through here, or he's going to be just coming up here and smelling. Either way, I want to get him where the trap is going to be. Now since I am after cats, coons, and gray fox here on this set, I'm not worried about my chain. So I'm basically just going to get the trap and drag, the chain and drag out of the way. I'm not going to worry about covering it up. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to pack around this. I'm going to bed this trap. I want this solid. So when he's walking, he's solid, solid, solid. Trap goes off, it catches him. Solid, solid, solid. Now I do want to guide his feet. So like any good cat set, I'm going to tell him where I don't want him to step. So that way when his paw's anywhere inside of here, he's going to be touching that pan. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover this trap. This to be level. Where my trap's at, pack that loose dirt down for my final sifting. I want this to be smooth, nice approach. My trap jaw was right here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move that straight up to where that other jaw was. It's a big trap. Smaller traps, you'll need to move this in a little bit further. But don't try to squeeze them down so tight if you're using like a 1 3/4 or number 2 bridger or something like that, or 550. Try to give them about 7-8 inches of room to get through here. You don't want to make it hard on them. All this is doing is just making sure that their body is right here. When they either walk through, they come up and smell, or they come up and rub. That's all this is for right here. Now, some people will take urine and put on here. I'm going to put urine on the droppings. I've got the feathers here for eye peel, and I've got my Bobcat Rub Lure right here. I don't think it's necessary. You might get some confusion. If you put urine on this thing right here, you may have a cat come up here and stand right here and smell. Come over and smell, he may not walk through. So I want to have everything on one side, in my opinion, to get him to come through here just like that. It's a very simple set. It really is. It's fast to put in as long as you've got wood or stuff to go around. I wouldn't be putting these in if you've got to start carrying stuff to put them in. You can catch cats and gray fox and coon with other stuff. But it's a very multi-species set for what I'm down here doing in South Texas, doing predator control work for the gray fox, the cats, and the coon. Now, could you catch coyotes on this if you took the feathers away and you took the lure up here and maybe put it down here? Absolutely. It's just a walkthrough set then, basically what it is. But by having this piece of projection up here, what you'll find with your coyotes is, because the way this cover's laid out right here, a lot of your coyotes will come over here and stand and smell the lure. They're not going to get inside of this as much. So if I was trying to double up on cats and I wasn't going to, coyotes, and I wasn't going to have a flag, I would come over here and I would blend in a trap right here, because that's what the coyotes for the most part are going to do. They're going to come in on the back side, they're going to get their curiosity filled, and then they're going to go about their business. They're not going to want to get inside your chute as much, even though this is not very unnatural with everything the way they roller chop down here. But that set will outcatch coyotes with a trap right there than this right here. But give these projection sets or rub sets a try. Make sure you've got a good Bobcat Rub Lure. There's a lot of ingredients on the market that will really get a bobcat to come up and actually slobber and get excited and rub and rub and rub. And the longer you keep him in your kill area, it just goes to with chance that you're going to catch more bobcats, you're going to catch more gray fox, and you're going to catch more coon. But that's a simple set anybody can use anywhere you're after these animals. Don't make it complicated. Don't try to get too fancy with it. Don't spread this way out. You just want to give them a place to come is all you're trying to do, and you'll catch your animals just like we caught the raccoon. I've been catching cats on these. I've been catching gray fox on these. Now right there, the raccoon from fighting the drag over there tore my other flag down, so I just hang another flag up. The only purpose for that flag is just in case a cat, a coon, or a fox is not coming right here where the set is at. It's going to get their curiosity. It's going to get them here. That's about 4.5 feet away from my set. There's right behind the set. I don't want to take them behind the set. I want to bring them in front of the set, and that's the best place for me to put the flag. If you can't use natural feathers, use something that's like faux fur or something like that, or some type of little ornaments, or you can get fake birds. You can do all kind of stuff, but use your flags in combination with a good projection set, and you'll definitely